Hey, it's Clay Trader, and this will be a video chart on WNBD, Winning Brands Corporation. I've done some videos on this way back when, but things come back to life again, and I've received about 18 million requests to do this one. So here we go. I'm going to mainly be concentrating on lower time frames just because you can't really tell too much from the daily time frame. I mean, you can obviously tell that the price has shot up. There's been great volume, but besides that, it's kind of hard to um, kind of gauge anything. Before I go any further, though, I will map out some resistance levels for you players that are planning on using the longer term chart. But the first one's being up here at 0.025, as you can see from way back here. And let's take a look. About April 2008, so a long time ago. The price was up here, came up here, bumped its head a few times. Um, and then you have another one right here that'll probably be a bit thicker. That's at right there, 0.03. Why 0.03? You can see we had a high there, and then once again, some price action that came up and fluttered around here before finally falling. And if the stock advances up past those, I'll be back to update some previous or some next resistance levels. But right now, for you longer term players that are using the daily chart, you're looking at 0.025 and 0.03 as your resistance levels. So let's bring this back in here and hop down to the 60-minute time frame. 60-minute, once again, you can't really tell too much. You can just tell that volume has really picked up and that the price has acted accordingly and is very bullish. Um, so, like I said, I'm going to be concentrating on lower time frames, mainly the 30-minute and 15-minute. But nonetheless, you can see that 60-minute we have the 10-day, or not the 10-day, 10 period, since we're on the 60-minute chart. We have the 10 period, the 20 period, 50 period, and now just the 200 period finally sloping up. But as you can see, these are all in unison, and when you have these moving averages in unison like they are, that just shows a nice solid uptrend. And obviously, trade with the trend. The trend is your friend, whatever you want to say, but you want the trend to be in the direction that you're trading, and I'm assuming that 95% of you out there are along this thing, so this is the exact kind of movement you want within these moving averages. Now here we're on the 30-minute. In the 30-minute, you can start to see some better support and resistance levels for the shorter term players. And I know a lot of people, like to hop in and out of these things and trade them. But this is the main chart I'll be focused on. So once again, this is a 30-minute time frame, and all that means is each one of these bars, candlesticks, represents 30 minutes worth of price action. So just to kind of go through a quick little history. You can see that we had the stock that was looking like this on the 30-minute. Right here, the price came up, broke above this trend line on above average volume, and the rest is history. So whoever obviously was keeping track of this trend line here, the high of was 007 here and 007 there. So right here we had the James Bond level. James Bond level was crushed and flying up ever since there. So congrats to all you guys that got in on the James Bond break. But now we have some nice little kind of ebbs and flows up and down, which will allow us to form some of our support levels. The first one being right here. That's not what I wanted. Let me delete that. Here we go, much better. But right here, the price made a nice run up, and then it hit its head here for a few hours. And the high here was 0.0125, high there 0.0125, 0.0125, 0.0125. And it did break above here for half an hour, but this half an hour, you got a big wick here, fell below, and then once again struggled to get above. But when it finally did on this day, it left it in its dust. So I'm going to change this to green for support. But there is going to be our first key support level. Now let's go through this once again. Like I said, you had broken through here, came up, fell back down. So right here was a key resistance level that the price struggled to get above. And as you can see here, the price came down, and when resistances are broke, they become supports. So actually, you'll be able to see it better if I just get this line drawn up here. But the price came down here, and as you can see, hovered right around this yellow line before blasting back up. Therefore, this line now becomes a support too. It was resistance, did a great job of providing support, so there we are. And now the third level that we're looking at for support is going to be right here. Same psychology. The price came up here twice, bumped its head, couldn't get up there, struggled around there to get above, finally did, then made a nice move up. And then you can see today, two candles dropped down and bounced right off of it. So this level here, which is at 0.019, is going to be the closest of the support levels. So here we have 0.0125 all the way down here. Then we have right here at 0.0165 and then 0.019. So use these as a thermometer, meaning the more and more of these that fall and fail, the colder and colder the chart gets. But as you can see right here, held strong, chart got hotter. Again right here, held strong, and the chart is keeping hold of these highs, so we'll see what happens. Now in terms of resistance, this is pretty easy to see because for these short-term players, you're just going by what's the previous high that keeps knocking it down. And here the price got up as high as 0.023 today, so therefore this is going to be our near-term resistance level. So it's 0.023, and then if you remember from the daily chart, you have one at 0.025, that's the resistance, and then 0.03. But near term, and for you players that use shorter term time frames, you're looking at 0.023 as your resistance level. So I hope this helped. Like I said, 60-minute and daily chart, you can only tell so much from those, but with this 30-minute, I think you can really get mapped out this support levels much better. So we'll see what happens the rest of this week, but chart's definitely looking strong, and there's clearly more interest on it now, judging by all the volume. Once again, this was WNBD.